Hello and welcome to day 15 live reactions of the G1 Climax 2020 with me, Andy Datson, and my partner in crime, my partner in mask, my Canadian, I don't know what he is, Tempest over here, who will be giving the expert commentary while I sit here and talk to everyone else about other things because I don't know what's going on. So Tempest, first of all, why don't you run us through the card?
Well, Andy Datson, we're in the end game now. We're in the home stretch. We've only got a few days left of this tournament. The points really matter. So when you look at a card like this with so many of the top guys still clinging to their top spots, a lot of these wins are going to mean that much more. So the card for today's show is going to be Will Osprey versus Jeff Cobb. Osprey, of course, sitting atop the block with many of the others. Kota Ibushi versus Yujiro Takahashi. Again, same thing in Ibushi's case. Shingo Takagi versus Taichi. Minoru Suzuki versus Jay White. Again, Jay White also sitting up there. And Kazuchika Okada versus Tomohiro Ishii. That should be stiff as a horse and another just absolute corker of a match.
Yes, that does sound like an absolute corker of a match. Everton Botches is apologising the other day because he didn't realise it was your birthday. So if you know it was your birthday, he wouldn't have said any of those things because on your birthday you get a free pass. What have we got? Antonio saying Le Canadien because I think he still thinks you're French.
Yeah.
From the bottom of his heart, he's really sorry.
Don't worry,
Stiff as
Everton.
a horse, says Jobber JJ. This should be good, says 130H. What it do, YouTube, says William Skay, to which Antonio said nothing. Yes, no, we hope you all enjoy the stream. I know Jobber JJ has been a serial sharer of this, but if you do fancy sharing this to your friends on Twitter and on your other various social medias, on your Bebo, MySpace, and on your Habbo account, do that because that would be very much appreciated. Give it a like as well so that people know that it was a good thing to watch. And yeah, we've gone through the card. I'm sure we'll go through it again, but obviously we'll start the show with a young lions match.
A Lung
Lions match. So we'll just have to see who's in that one. But I mean, you've got a pretty good chance of guessing.
Yeah, I think it would be like whatever that problem with the two doors that they talk about on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where you gotta guess like yeah, exactly. Just like, well, odds are you're gonna guess right. Jobber JJ here comes in with a super chat saying, can we talk about just how great day 13 was? Stiff as a horse, Suzuki versus Ibushi is why I love professional wrestling. Yes, Andy and I were talking about this just before we went live, that, when you're watching these things and delivering live reaction, you sometimes miss the overall gravity of what you're actually watching sometimes. And I had mentioned that I, in particular, went and listened to Dave Meltzer's review of the show for the Wrestling Observer. And he mentioned that he thought it was perhaps the best 2.5-hour show he'd ever seen. He thought it was the card of the year, which, I mean, when you look at it, you could certainly make that argument.
I mean, he hasn't been watching Raw for the last few weeks.
Oh yeah, bud. When you look at that card and you see like Ishii versus Cobb was like the opener for the block. You had Jay White and Yujiro Takahashi, which was like a storyline match. So you weren't looking for it to be like a great match, but more of a great performance. And, you just keep going on and on. Osprey and Taichi was phenomenal. Like you said, Ibushi and Suzuki, you'll probably get like 5 stars in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And then, of course, you had Shingo Takagi and Kazuchika Okada, which was by far, to me, Okada's best match of the tournament so far. So, yes, everyone should watch Day 13 and also watch our live reactions of Day 13.
Absolutely. People may notice that I am somewhere else today. I am actually in my bedroom. My flatmates have moved back in following lockdown. I'm now in my bedroom, as you can see, with all my there we go, all my trophies from my various sporting achievements up here. And yeah, I just want a question for people in the chat. It's only been one day of the week, really. I mean, 1 and a bit days now that we're into Tuesday. But what is the stupidest thing you have done this week? Because last night I woke up to go to the toilet at about 5 a.m. and I got myself a glass of water and put it on my bedside table, but wasn't looking properly, and the entire glass of water tipped into my bed. So I ended up having to sleep on the other half of my bed because one half was completely soaked. So what is the stupidest thing you've done this week? Just so everyone is in the loop, it is Gabriel Kidd versus Uemura to start the show in the Young Lions match. Tempest, what's the stupidest thing you've done this week?
Oh God, you've put me on the spot. I was trying to think of something while you were going on there.
I mean, it was your birthday. Did you do anything when you were particularly drunk?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about when, like going back to Saturday and everything, if that counts, yeah, there's probably some stupid things going on there. Although I don't think I was in as bad a shape as some of my friends may have been. I will say, actually, I will say as a plug as well. Of course, everyone watching this should go and subscribe to Phenomena Nerds, our new channel, of course, hosted by Adam Blampied, focused on board games and the like. I watched the first video that he put out and promptly decided to buy one of the games that he recommended.
Which game?
The game is called Say Anything.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a party game where you have these little cards. There are prompts. Someone reads a prompt, like, what would my superpower be? And then everyone else, rather than just say flight or invisibility, you just roast them the whole time. So I decided this would be a fun thing to do with friends over drinks and such. And while I didn't say anything stupid, I'm pretty sure one of my friends absolutely had a stroke while writing her answers.
Nice.
If I can, we had to take a picture for the sake of prosperity, because it was pretty hilarious. The question was it was either what would I do on the moon or what would I write on the moon? It has something to do with the moon. And her full, complete answer, I don't know if this will pick up, was moom non mum.
Is your friend Louis Dangle texting?
Entirely possible, but no, of course, I would never be friends with Louis Dangle.
No, that's true. Did your parents like your new lover? Did they get on?
I think so.
That's
I think
good.
everything went well enough.
For those who don't know, Tempest has a new girlfriend and who has never seen his face because he never takes off the mask.
Well, this is my face.
That's true.
This isn't just a mask.
Antonio, I do understand why you're calling him the Canadian. I know us British are very different from the Canadians. We are much more civilized. Rob Zilla heard the microwave beep, so he opened the fridge. Yeah, it's always those sort of morning things for me. Like the amount of times I've gone to put deodorant on my toothbrush, or toothpaste on my armpit, or I think I like pouring cereal into my like cup of tea or something like that. It's always those kind of mornings where you're still feeling pretty groggy and you're not quite aware of what's going on. But this match has been very standard so far. Uemura has currently got an arm bar sort of thing on Kid, who managed to get to the rope.
The Young Lion matches have been very good in this tournament.
They have been very good. I don't know whether that's been unusually good, but maybe they've been given a bit more time this year.
I think, in addition, like usually the Young Lion matches will kind of be mixed in with tags. They'll be involved with guys like Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Yuji Nagata, people like that. But all just kind of mixed in, so you don't really notice them until they have like a few minutes here and there to mix it up. But in these cases, like they've been having like 10-minute matches every single night. And this is the 15th show, so they've had 15 matches, just between 3 guys. So just having those matches is great experience, not just to mention that they're wrestling the same, 2 opponents over and over and over again. So you should be able to get a good match, by that point anyway.
No, absolutely. Who's saying I'm civilized? Oh, right, yeah. No, we are civilized, Shardul. You don't know me. Although I do, like I was telling Tempest, I do like this camera angle because it's making my eyes look very blue. I feel really attractive. Victor says, I haven't seen Andy in a while. Andy, your hair grew back quite well. Yes, it did grow back quite well. I am quite pleased with how it grew back. Although, weirdly, it grew back in the opposite direction to which it grew beforehand. So there you go. Being sneaky at work, Jobber JJ. Can't watch G1 yet, but had to come here. Well, we are happy you're here anyway, Shardul. Thank you for joining us. It is obviously the finals this weekend, so do be sure to join us on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will be doing the final day of the A block and final day of the B block on Friday and Saturday, and then the final on Sunday, which should be an absolute corker of a show. I am, in fact, missing my weekly soccer match just so I can be there. Wow! Gabriel Kidd just absolutely slapped the living hell out of poor Uemura there.
Goodness me. I think now you're slightly ahead of me.
Oh, no. So. Which I can pause for a few seconds. How many seconds do you reckon I was ahead?
Maybe like 2.
Okay. Punch. Punch.
You're still slightly ahead.
Punch. Slap.
Yeah, you're still maybe 2 seconds ahead of me.
Forearm. 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 How's that?
You sound like you're calling out your moves in like Street Fighter or something.
I know it's football, not soccer, Antonio. Most of our fans are American, and therefore I thought I would Americanize it for them. Yes, now everyone's calling me out for saying soccer. I know it's football. I spent my entire life calling it football. One of my the reason I'm in my bedroom is because I've got my flatmate's moved back in with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's actually American. So I've been having to, I've been trying to Americanize some things for her.
Huh.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah,
that was one of the shorter Young Lions match we've had.
Yeah,
that could suggest that some of the matches might go a bit longer later in the show. But I mean, it's only a couple of minutes shorter, so let's not read into it too much.
Uemura wins with the arm trap belly-to-belly suplex.
I'm not sure I buy that as a finisher, but Doesn't really
It's a
matter.
young line finisher.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
It
why
can beat a young line.
That's why I'm not going to be too hard on it.
Yes, Logan West here says you guys should get Da Party, Xavier Woods, Tyler Breeze, Cesaro, and Adam Cole on Quizzlemania. Yes, well, Logan, I believe that all of those people would have some sort of commitment you may have heard of that would keep them from being on Quizzlemania. It might be called a contract with WWE. They are not the most open people to doing outside roles, unfortunately. I'm sure we would love to have all of those people on. I mean, I love all four of them. So,
well, absolutely, but yeah, I don't. So tomorrow's Quizzlemania is exciting because we've got two guys called Carl and Luke, and they'll be going up against Quizzlemania tag team champions.
You fool.
Ollie Davis.
Absolute
Luke Owen. Yeah, I don't really know. They're up against two bald guys. I feel like I've seen them before on TV, but I don't really know exactly who they are. I've just got an email. So this is the sort of thing you get if you run the website from one of our advertising partners saying, "Oh, we wish you could have lunch with you in person, but until then, have a meal on us." And they've just sent me a £15 off delivery voucher.
Well, lucky you.
So do you have Deliveroo in Canada? Is it reached across the pond? Or do you have Uber Eats? Okay, no, you do.
Well, I don't think we have like anything called Deliver, but we've got a number of like food delivery apps.
Well, no, I assumed that. I was just wondering if you actually had Deliveroo.
Yes, we've got Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash. I think there's one called Foodora, but I've never used that.
Do you wear a fedora? Antonio has asked what your thoughts. Goodness. He's asked me as well, but I don't have any thoughts. So, but your thoughts on the Tag League and the Best of Super Juniors being combined?
Fun! Yay! More New Japan. Perhaps this will mean that I get to do more streams. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's good. You know, you kind of figured that there was going to be a World Tag League because there always is in fall and December and such, but getting the Best of the Super Juniors mixed in there just means that we don't miss a year's worth of Best of the Super Juniors action, which is good in my book because that tournament is excellent. We'll see what we can kind of get because they really focus on filling out that tournament with more foreign stars than even the G1 does. But obviously that will be a little bit more difficult this year. So we will have to see what the field looks like in that tournament. I hope it's good, but you never know.
Well, speaking of field, the very fact that this show is opening with Jeff Cobb and Will Osprey is a bit of a testament to how stacked these cards are.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. Why they're not opening with the Takahashi match, I don't know, but maybe they want to sort of start hot, which is something I've sort of noticed they have been doing. They've been putting on a very good match just open with often.
Yes. If you saw these guys wrestle at the G1 Supercard last year, you know that you are in for a good match. I mean, just about every Will Ospreay match is a good match, but these two can really tear it up together. I feel like I've got something in my eye here, and it is quite bothering me.
Is it your eyeball?
It might be. I don't know. Last I checked, it was still in there. STR says Show is going to win the Best of the Super Junior. That sounds good to me.
I think Yo is going to win it.
Well, Yo, I believe, is still injured, but there's been at least now a couple of months since he was stripped or vacated the junior heavyweight championship or tag team championship rather. So maybe he's recovered. It's been a while.
I'll drop him a message.
Yes, let Yo know that we need him back. completely unrelated note that absolutely not a single person in the chat will be able to relate to. You know that show is the name that is the hardest to find when doing results for the website. There's nothing you can type in that won't make SHO come up with like 100 other things before just a picture of show comes up.
Why don't you save a picture of him with the nickname that only you know, like, I don't know, cheese pizza or something?
Because then cheese pizza will come up, because whatever the file is listed as is what it's the little square with his face in it for the actual results pages.
Now, that move was cool. So Osprey got caught by Cobb on the ropes, but also Osprey saw that Jeff Cobb was getting out of the way, still tried to do the move, and then Jeff Cobb stopped him. So kayfabe wise, that was stupid. Oh dear!
Well, I figure even if he saw him getting out of the way, he may have just been going for the superhero pose, which he's been known to do.
Oh, he's trying it again now. Oh, that time he hits it. It looked the coolest looking, but least effective move in wrestling.
Oh dear. There's like a half-foot drop from the little platform the ring is on, it looks like. Which could spell danger for those in the ring, but we'll see. Osprey sure has been looking a lot more cocky in recent weeks.
Shardul was asking who won the mock draft and who were the consequences. So Luke won the mock draft, and the consequences are that because Pete is part of the All Authority, that during this Sunday's next Sunday's Hell in a Cell live reaction stream, Pete will have to dress as Nikki Bella, which is ironic because I would rather not look, and I would certainly not like to touch. But yes, that is the punishment, which obviously is a massive punishment for Mr. Davis.
The stars above. Sucks. Oh my god. Do the Bella twins of like any team have like the two worst theme songs ever?
Free mode. Yeah, probably in terms of a family, you've got to say that they have the worst average theme tune.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
And by family, I mean more than one person, because otherwise you could just say, well, everyone in the in the Kelly family is a terrible theme.
It's true.
In the blank family.
Jeff Cobb with a big belly-to-belly suplex and a big running back forearm or back elbow, I should say, in the corner there.
So I think a lot of people might just assume Osprey's going to win this, but Cobb has been winning a lot recently.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be at all surprised if he picks up the win.
He had a slow start. Corporate Chopper is in the chat on the Wrestle2 account saying, I'm not looking forward to the Hell in a Cell live reactions.
Well, you're the only one there, Chopper. Yeah. We're all looking forward to seeing you strut your stuff. The hairiest Nikki Bella of all time.
Because you brought up the Kelly family. Did you? If I have this correct, and I'm the fact checker, so I like to pride myself on being correct on these type of things. Did you know that prior to his re-debut as Dolph Ziggler, there was a plan to debut Dolph Ziggler as Kelly's brother?
Oh,
Kelly.
Sorry, what was his name?
Kelly.
He was going to be called Kelly as well.
They were both going to be called Kelly.
That is wonderful. They should have done that.
Well, you thought Dolph Ziggler was
was that after he was?
It was after he was a cheerleader. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
This was like late 2008.
Okay, that's. I mean, wow. They really could have killed his career.
And then they did. So, what did we have here? STR said, did you see that Osprey backstage promo that sounded exactly like a Kenny promo? I did, actually. I did see that, and I thought it was interesting. Definitely a different delivery than we were used to. It makes me think maybe Osprey is going heel, but at the same time, I would think that they want to push Osprey as a babyface foreigner. And Jobber JJ, sorry. Well, Jobber JJ's hanging out saying that would have killed his career as well. But Corporate Chopper saying genuinely that Ziggler idea is brilliant.
Do you know what would have killed my career? Writing would of instead of would have. Jobber JJ. I feel your pain, Corporate Chopper, says Logan West. You should go double or nothing on lukewarm Luke Owen and make the deck stacked against him. Well, yes. I mean, Chopper, if you don't know people, is very hairy. He has a hairy back and hairy shoulders. So to see him in a Nikki Bella costume is going to be hard to watch. Maybe I'll just have the audio on for that.
Yes,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I actually want to see Chopper wearing that.
Oh.
But of course, Kelly, I will be performing the Kelly's entrance theme music video. I've been practicing, learning the lyrics, figuring out in what way I'm going to sing it, and figuring out how I'm going to do the music video. It's quite difficult at the moment because obviously no one's in the office, so I've got no one to kind of cameo in it. But yes, and I don't really want to walk around wearing a bikini, because it is about 8 degrees Celsius.
I was going to say, it's getting a bit cool, don't you think? Yeah,
but there are morph suit bikinis. So maybe I'll look into that. What's 8C in F? That is 46 Fahrenheit.
Only stupid countries use Fahrenheit.
Don't you use Fahrenheit?
Nope.
No? Canada's... Oh, good.
Yeah, we use Celsius and the metric system and all things right.
Jobber JJ, your English spelling isn't great. I'm a terrible speller. I mean, yeah, we know. Is that just because your English spelling isn't great, or is that because you are not English, Jobber JJ? I know your surname is certainly an unusual one for being English. So let me know. I've always been interested. Who do we predict to win the blocks? Says Josh Tilley. Kota Ibushi and Naito. Just remembered you were streaming. Yes, we are. Tempest, are you looking forward to Hell in a Cell? Says Daz. I'm also here, Daz. It's fine. Whatever. Don't care.
Well, I guess. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm intrigued by some of the matches. What was the last show? Clash of Champions? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought that show was adequate. There were a couple of good matches on that show that I really enjoyed. Particularly the ladder match and the main event were both very, very good. But yeah, the Hell in a Cell I Quit match, that sounds fun. That sounds like something I would have come up with at the age of 13. So I will be looking forward to that one, at least. I'm not crazy in love with the booking so far. I wouldn't put any of the 3 Hell in a Cell matches in Hell in a Cell, personally. I would not have booked this card, but as far as matches go, I'm sure they will be good. Osprey has hit a standing Spanish fly, and not enough to put Jeff Cobb away, but Osprey now has hit a springboard 450 splash. Again, not enough to put Jeff Cobb away.
I've hit a lot of springboard 450 splashes in my time.
not the hardest move in the world to pull off, actually.
Well, now you just make me feel bad, Jobber JJ. I didn't know that, so now I'm the worst. Half Indian, that's interesting.
Which half?
Exactly, which half of you is Indian? Go easy on Andy. He has to go holla holla. I do have to go holla holla soon. Do what's the news on a new Shield on SmackDown? I don't think there's going to be a new Shield on SmackDown. I mean, it would be very, very silly of them, unless by new. Oh, that didn't go quite to plan. Unless by what you mean by a new Shield is like Roman Reigns and the Usos. Because if they immediately align Seth Rollins with Roman Reigns, that would be very silly. Yeah, Osprey looked in a bit of trouble after that.
It was kind of like a reverse F5 type deal.
Yeah, but he kind of landed on his head rather than.
Yeah.
Wait, how far are you behind me?
I don't know.
What does your timer say?
1:04:43.
Wow, you are 13 seconds behind me.
Oh well.
I will pause for a while.
Jeff,
let
Cobb
me know when you're at 1:05:04.
02, 03, 04.
Yay! Okay, now we're back to sync up.
He hit an Os cutter out of the corner.
Yeah.
Antonio, no, what someone was asking about Hell in a Cell again. Josh Tilley here. That's the trouble with the Gimmick pay-per-view Tempest. You just need to book it because it's in October. Well, it's funny you say that. If you want, you can go and check out my very first video on the WrestleTalk channel ever from about this time last year, which was how WWE ruined Hell in a Cell, where I touch on that very point there. That maybe your biggest stipulation match shouldn't just be a goddamn thing that happens in October every year.
Well, that's what, because the thing is with that.
Oh,
Jeff Cobb wins.
Jeff Cobb has picked up the win over Will Osprey.
So it really feels like this is a kind of Jeff Cobb started badly, but now he's really, really picked up. I mean, where does that leave him now?
I believe that puts him at 8 points. I think that's right. Let me look up.
It's bad for Osprey because obviously he was on 10 points with Ibushi. So if Ibushi wins later,
that honestly, that may be the nail in Will Osprey's coffin.
What was I going to say? The Hell in a Cell thing. It's not like WWE don't have other show names copyrighted that they could just use instead of it. I feel like it should be something that is the end of a massive blood feud, not just, oh, well, it's Hell in a Cell. Okay, let's have a match in Hell in a Cell. Especially since they made it red. Which actively detracts from the viewing pleasure.
That does put Jeff Cobb at 8 points now. Because it's crazy, because the top 4 people all have 10 points, and that maintains now that Will Osprey has lost. He remains at 10 points. Jeff Cobb obviously now has 8, and then Ishii, Taichi, Suzuki, and Takagi all have 6, and then of course Yujiro has 0, nil point.
Does it always happen that the winner goes back up the ramp and the loser doesn't?
Sometimes, yeah. I think, I don't know. They especially do it the Tokyo Dome, where you'll have the loser just like having to go off, not through the crowd, but through the little extra section there at the side.
Antonio, no, he's not going to talk more about. We've done this many times. He's not going to name players.
Yeah, what sick pleasure do you get out of watching me name football players?
If you hadn't noticed, Antonio, every single time you ask one, I send him a message with 3. Peeling back the curtain, I then send him a message with 3 answers, and then he reads them out. He doesn't actually know any football players. I'm afraid it's the biggest lie in wrestling. What's the news on Goldberg? I have no idea what the news on Goldberg is. Is there any news on Goldberg?
Not like any new news. The last that we heard was that like he still had like a couple dates left on his current deal, but that was back at like WrestleMania. You know, so
there's nothing I can see. Ago. There's nothing I can see to suggest there's any idea that he'll be coming back. He likely will be at some point, but it may be when WWE head back to Saudi or something like that. Because the issue is at the moment, if they want to bring him back and put him back in a title picture, he'll either have to beat Roman Reigns or Drew McIntyre, or whoever the champion on Raw is, and we don't want to see that.
No.
It is Kota Ibushi against Yujiro Takahashi right now, in case anyone was wondering.
I will say, if I was asked to like name any 3 football players in the world, I would still probably struggle. And 2 of them would be like Ronaldo and Messi.
Surely you know one more after that.
Well, sure, but it's probably because they would have played for TFC at one point. Like I could tell you the name like Jermaine Defoe.
Jermaine Defoe, yeah.
But that's about it. Does Pele count?
I mean, he's been retired for a long time.
He doesn't play anymore, but that's about all I've got. There's a guy named Escobar that was killed because he missed a shot or something like that.
Yeah, that was terrible. It was, I think, was he Colombian or Ecuadorian?
Yeah, it was Colombian. I've seen a documentary on that.
Yeah, he missed a penalty and then someone shot him.
Yeah.
Probably not the best reaction to that. It is only a game.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I didn't know you were Russian, Tempest.
It's a clip from hockey.
Oh, right.
I forget who it was, but it was like a post-game interview where someone asked a hockey player, like, oh, this and that, like, you mad about whatever? And his famous quote, which has been turned into a meme ever since, would just be, it's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
I mean, it's presumably Wayne Gretzky because he's the hockey player I've heard of.
Yes, absolutely. Famous Russian hockey player Wayne Gretzky.
I'm trying to think I mean, former Chelsea FC's goalkeeper is now a ice hockey goalkeeper for my local team, Guildford Flames.
Yes. Gatecrasher Forever says Toronto FC, Sebastian Giovinco, major player for them. Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
I've heard of him as well.
Giovinco. Jose Altidore, that's a guy.
Yeah.
I know him, but that's probably all I know from TFC, to be honest.
Well, it's hilarious because Jose Altidore is one of considered one of the better players in the MLS, and he came over to the UK and was utterly useless.
Well, it's kind of why he was playing in the MLS, wasn't it?
That is true. So
David Beckham, does that count? Like Beckham?
I'm afraid not. I watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E. the other day, the spy film with Henry Cavill and Cavill, and the other mate. And David Beckham makes a very brief cameo in it as like a projectionist. Someone who's using a projector. And my girlfriend said, "Is that David Beckham?" I went, "No, why would he be in this film?" It was David Beckham, and I still don't know why.
Interesting.
Maybe he's friends with
Armie Hammer was the other guy. In that
Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer, that's the one, yeah.
That's an excellent name.
It is. That could be a wrestler.
Absolutely. I'm surprised it's not. Valab Mamadapudi was saying here, will there be a review podcast on Friday? Or will you push it to Monday, or will you have both to cover the finals separately? I don't know if you've been reading the chat that I have with Luke Owen, but I will get back to you on that. I'm waiting for confirmation on what the plan is. tentatively, I believe the idea is to do both. Is to do a podcast on Friday, perhaps slightly later in the day, just because my co-host Sano Lad is unavailable for 3 p.m. British time, and then to do kind of a wrap-up, final review, and overall look back on the tournament on Monday. So we will see, but expect at least the Monday podcast, if not both. And Daz Reynolds says, when is the next Impact pay-per-view, please, Tempest? I mean, you have Google.
It's on the 24th of October.
That's Bound for Glory, isn't it?
It is Bound for Glory, yes.
There
It is
you
the
go.
night before Hell in a Cell. Both will be part of Wrestle League, so if you want to join on that, go over to WrestleTalk.com/Patreon.
Why?
No, Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Sorry.
Man, every time we do TNA or Impact shows on Wrestle League, my points just drop. I haven't watched Impact regularly probably in about 10 years, to be perfectly honest. I've seen a show here or there, but funny enough, on my birthday in 2010, because it was 10-10-10, and they did Bound for Glory, and Jeff Hardy turned heel, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm done. Maybe I don't want to watch this anymore. I was a big Jeff Hardy fan, and nuh-uh. No, actually, I know what show it was that I gave up. It was the show afterwards, which was, I think, Turning Point, where he faced Matt Morgan in the main event.
Wow,
and Matt Morgan,
that's a huge main event.
Oh yeah, Matt Morgan hit, I think it was like either the carbon footprint or the elevator, whatever his finisher was at the time, and like had him pinned. And the referee counts like 1, 2, and Jeff Hardy just kind of like wriggles a little bit, but doesn't kick out. And Morgan still has him hooked. And the referee's like, oh no, it's 2. And he's still got him hooked. Like he's not gotten up yet. And the referee just like stood up. Josh Tilley says the Good Brothers will come after me if I talk bad about Impact. Impact now is very good. I've watch Impact. I
haven't been watching it, but I just simply don't have time to watch all the wrestling. But yes, it would be very good.
I will say, go watch Impact. Impact is worth watching. Watch Impact instead of WWE. You will have a better time. When I get the chance to watch Impact, I do watch it these days, and I do put it in the WrestleTalk recap, which you should watch every Saturday.
Absolutely, watch it in fact, just make it your homepage.
Yes, every time you boot up, you just go to the WrestleTalk recap. The last 2 weeks, you get to see my dog. Oh my goodness. Kota Ibushi. Oh, Kota Ibushi getting a big suplex from Yujiro Takahashi. Haven't said a whole lot about this match because it is a Yujiro Takahashi match.
Yeah, it's hard to get excited. You would very much expect Ibushi to win. If Yujiro is going to get a win, it's not going to be against Kota Ibushi. You would think. Big boot from Yujiro to the corner.
Vanez says, you guys want to be the last 2 in AEW's tournament? I'd personally like to see Pac and Sammy. Kind of want to see a match between the two. I mean, that'd be a fun match, but it's fair. At least the obvious pick is Omega and Hangman Page. You know, I think they'll probably do that match at Full Gear, kind of lean into a full heel turn for Omega, have Omega win. Omega beats Moxley for the title, and then you do kind of a long reign that eventually leads to Hangman Page beating Omega for the title. But that's just my fantasy book.
Well, yeah. Well, one person during the AEW review stream last week suggested that while Colt Cabana's in it right now, that Brody Lee may force him to give up his place so that Brody Lee can take that place.
Not a bad
which
idea.
I would be way up for. But yeah, storyline sense, the only match that really makes sense would be a Omega versus Hangman, or for one of them to make to the final and the other to be costed a place in the final by the other one. Cost. And then therefore that sets up a match at the next big show.
Ooh.
But
big clothesline from Yujiro there.
Ow! Landed right on his head from that clothesline. Yeah, but I trust AW to book the right thing in that one.
Yes. It's one of the things where if WWE books something strange, I don't have faith in them to make sense of it because they just, I have no faith in them. They've given me no reason to have faith. But when AEW books something differently than I think they would, I'm like, okay, let me see where this goes. I have faith that what you have in mind will make more sense than what I thought.
We've had a year of good booking, and with WWE we've had about 50 years of we had some good booking before the 2000s, but the last 20 years it's been pretty downhill.
Yes.
So yes, Simon Longden is back in part with WrestleTalk. He's doing a weekly screen grapple, a kind of bite-sized screen grapple where he just sort of discusses the big talking points from social media throughout the week. So do go check that out. You can check that out on both our social media and I believe it's on Wrestle2 as well. So make sure you subscribe to Wrestle2 and to our social feeds. To make sure you don't miss that. Takahashi is currently biting Ibushi's thumb.
He went for a sliding dropkick, but Ibushi dodged. Yujiro now looking for the Olympic slam, but Ibushi is fighting out.
I think you're ahead of me now.
I think I might be, yes.
Kick head. I'm going to do something. He's going, hands up to his shoulders.
Went for the power bomb.
No, so yeah, you're definitely ahead of me.
Yeah, Yujiro has now hit the Olympic slam. Here, let me pause that for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Let's see.
Okay. It's Ibushi on the mat. He's going, okay, it's wide shot. Referee stood up.
Oh, I see. Esteban Yanez corrects himself, saying, "Who do we think the last two spots in the tournament will be?" As opposed to the winner.
Well, I don't think, as much as I'd like to see Park back, I don't think he can get there, as he's based mainly in the UK. So I don't see that happening. Remind me exactly who's in it so far, so I don't say something stupid.
Omega and Page, Ray Phoenix, Colt Cabana, Wardlow.
Oh, what a horrible suplex.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord.
No, surely not. 1, 2.
No.
Oh,
he just about stood on his head. Jungle Boy.
Yeah, so I guess someone like Sammy Guevara would make sense. I guess Will is it? No, not Will Hobbs. Is it Will Hobbs?
Will Hobbs is a guy.
Yeah, Will Hobbs, someone like that, someone kind of new, kind of some new blood to kind of give them a bit of time in the spotlight.
Darby Allin, maybe.
Darby Allin. I was thinking of a name. Yeah, but it's just because they've got so many people who would make a good place, like I don't know, Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah. Can I just say, like, I get why they're not doing it, but I thought when Cody was going to announce his a big V trigger from Kota Ibushi. When
Well
Cody was going
from
to
Takagi.
announce, oh goodness, this has got to be it. He's going for the Kamigoye. That looked not fun to take.
Stiff as a horse.
Stiff as a horse.
Ibushi wins.
Ibushi moves to 12 points.
Result, but actually one of Takahashi's better matches from the show. Maybe they could do a thing where they don't reveal who the last couple of people. Maybe they've got surprises.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's Rob Van Dam.
Ooh, maybe like Matt Sydal. Maybe if you want to do more,
someone like that. I mean, I do think the last couple of weeks WWE have been airing a lot of video packages which happen to feature Rob Van Dam matches on their socials. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if RVD has decided that he's going to end his career in the kind of in a sort of two-year spell with WWE, perhaps.
Well, we know he doesn't want to do like touring and stuff like that. So
right now would be the perfect
perhaps
time.
Yeah, now would be a good time to do no touring. There was a question here that I wanted to get back to. Who do we think will be in the Royal Rumble, legend-wise?
Oh dear! I honestly have not thought about it at all. But I mean, you can kind of guess. You can pretty much guess that Michelle McCool's going to be in it and eliminate everyone.
Yeah. The Rock.
And there'll be names like Molly Holly and stuff. If there is a crowd, then I could see The Rock being number 30 and winning and challenging Roman Reigns.
It's a big if, though.
I can see that happening, but I don't think it should. I think there's a much more kind of natural storyline to tell there. Kind of, he calls out The Rock over and over, like when Cena was calling out The Undertaker. Kind of keeps calling himself the head of the family and all that sort of thing, and tribal chief, and then it kind of riles up The Rock. Because I mean, they can't be filming too many. They can't be doing all that much. Movie filming.
Maybe they're filming Black Adam still. Who knows? The movie that was announced like 6 years ago. Maybe they'll finally get around to actually making it. Don't get me started on DC movies. Just forget I said anything.
It is currently the break in between, so we'll see people wearing T-shirts, things like that. Everyone's heading to the toilet. So yeah, you can go and head to the toilet yourself, but otherwise feel free to ask us some more questions about anything you like, and we'll do our best to get to all of those.
Yes, of course. Josh Tilley here says Edge wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Orton for the WWE title. Sure.
Again, but he doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble to do that. He's got enough start. The Royal Rumble should be a match where someone you don't expect to win, or someone who deserves to win wins. Because someone like Edge can literally come back and go, "Hey, I'm not finished with you, Randy," and then that's a match. Edge does not have to win a match like the Royal Rumble to do that, and it should be a match where, like with Drew, it's made him into the star he always should have been. That's what you want from a Royal Rumble. It is my favorite match of the entire year, and I want it to be special.
Well, who would you have win the men's Rumble? Because if we're having, fantasy booking wise, if you have
Titus O'Neil.
Oh yeah. If you've got The Rock coming back and doing that sort of storyline to challenge Roman Reigns, and that's your Universal Championship match, who do you have challenging the WWE title?
God, what's the new Raw roster? I have to look it up now.
Sorry, I asked.
God, thanks, Tempest. Let's have a look. AJ Styles, Andrade, maybe.
Unlikely, I would think.
I know, but this is one who I want to win. Keith
The
Lee.
Elite here. The Elite
Keith.
says, Keith Lee's a solid choice.
I'm going to go for Keith Lee.
The Elite says Mustafa Ali. It's like, crazier things have happened. Raphael C says, Tempest, do you not get tired of the mask? I genuinely can't imagine wearing it for more than 10 minutes. You have no idea how tired I am of this mask in particular. I showed my nose on the Saturday show of just how red and just absolutely crushed it gets, which, not a fun time. I'm hoping to get a new mask that will be much more comfortable. Because the mask that I wore on my first Quizzlemania appearance, the not Robert Wagner, that's an actor, the Dr. Wagner mask, that is really like perfectly comfortable.
Why don't you wear that then?
Because that's someone else's mask. And this is my mask.
Antonio, I don't really have any thoughts on Gareth Southgate, Mark Goldbridge, I'm afraid. I don't really know who Mark Goldbridge is. Other people are suggesting Big E to win. Yeah, I could see that. Angel Garza, probably not. And Charlotte to win the men's rumble. Yeah, I could see that as well. Who's going to win the women's rumble, though?
Sasha Banks.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the people... They clearly, to me, are trying to build up like the legacy of the Women's Rumble by having like their biggest female stars win it. And you've had like Asuka, Charlotte, Becky Lynch. Sasha, to me, makes sense to add another top name into that same list.
A returning Ronda Rousey.
Well, that was my pick last year, and it didn't happen.
She is coming back. What a strange advert this is. Very Japanese.
See, look at how red it is. It's bad. It's not comfortable.
What a strange advert that was. Ronda's contract expires just after WrestleMania next year. So you would think that they're going to try and get her in for one more. I don't know that YouTube channel, I'm afraid, Antonio. I don't tend to watch Man United themed things. Kelly will probably be there with her terrible running of the ropes and that one move she does, the Kelly go round.
Well, no. Jobber JJ actually means Dolph Ziggler, her brother.
Oh, okay, yeah. Keith Lee, says Esteban Yanez. Yeah, I think Keith Lee is a very good shout. Haven't watched WWE in months, you lucky man.
Yeah.
Although, I was about to say SmackDown's been good, but actually last week's SmackDown was pretty boring. Not boring, but pretty bad. We had the return of Lars Sullivan, who, shocker, is still a terrible human being. We had the New Day pointlessly being broken up, even though they proved last year that they can have the New Day as a tag team and a single star because Kofi Kingston won the W Championship. So that was silly. Yeah, you just had, and then like them drafting Otis but not Tucker. It's like, why? You can do both of them.
And then it's not like you have too many tag teams right now, for God's sake.
Oh, we looked at Raw. Raw's got 2 tag teams.
People wonder why I hate WWE. And it's for reasons like this.
We got 2 tag teams.
Like, for goodness sake, I went back and looked because I think David Bixenspan or somebody, it might not have been him. It was someone like that on Twitter a few weeks ago said, "Do you realize that there hasn't been just like a straight 2-on-2 tag team championship match on the main show of WrestleMania? There's been like maybe like 4 of them ever, and they just don't care about tag team championship matches." it's baffling to me. How do you still have like a NXT brand that is still under your umbrella where a number of the best matches your company has ever had have been tag team matches from that brand, and you still can't get it?
So the tag teams that we have on Raw are New Day.
Uh-huh.
Wait, Tucker's been moved to Raw.
Yep.
The split up Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Ridiculously, sorry. They've got Retribution.
Miz and Morrison.
The Hurt Business. I think
Even
that's
still,
it.
a number of these are like factions.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Other than they've got Eric and Ivar, but they're injured for ages.
Jesus Christ!
I honestly did not know that they broke up. I mean, do you feel like no, Antonio? I do not know any Manchester United related YouTube channels. I'm sorry.
We're watching wrestling here.
Yeah, do you think they are killing? Did he he's just decided that he doesn't want to watch, doesn't want to do tag team wrestling anymore?
Maybe, honestly, just get rid of all the tag teams at that point. Just say no more tag teams. Screw it. Like, if you're going to do it, go all the way with it. Come on. Don't be a wuss. Do it then, you coward. Kill all the tag teams. Every single one. Don't even have a tag division. Jesus. Why, I don't know. I know at least, for a while back in the day, the idea was, move the cruiserweight division to, one show and the tag team division to another show. At least, and just have, one set of belts. But, I cannot imagine having 2 sets of tag titles right now. Holy smokes. Antonio Correa says, Tempest, also many people say New Japan Pro Wrestling's tag division sucks. Yes, they do. New Japan's tag division's not good. But at least when New Japan has a fault like that, they can fall back on great singles wrestling, to actually build their company on, which WWE does not have the luxury of doing.
I didn't actually watch Raw last night. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I saw that they swapped the tag belts.
That's how little those tag belts mean. Like the lineage and everything like that. Just like, you know what? Here, let's trade. I want the red ones now.
Yeah, everyone's saying it was very lame.
I don't doubt it.
I was half hoping they were going to do a unification match.
Well, they should. There's no reason there's barely a reason to have 1 set of tag titles, let alone 2. Oh, my goodness. Esteban says, the last time I was excited was last year's Royal Rumble and whatever draft it was where you had Andrade, Ali, Murphy, Gable, Ray, Nakamura, and Balor on the same brand. Could have been the best mid-card. Well, if that was the last time,
wasn't it?
I think so. If that was the last time you were ever excited, you need a more exciting life, my friend. If not, you need to specify that was the last time you were excited with WWE. Well, now Antonio Correa says, Tempest, at least New Japan cares a bit about their tag division. Well, which is it, Antonio? Does it suck or do they care? Because I personally don't really think they care much about their tag division. They've cared more about it this year with the formation of the Golden Aces tag team of Tanahashi and Ibushi, which has been very good. And, of course, the current tag champions of Taichi and Sabre, which I think have been a phenomenal tag team so far. But otherwise, that's about where the tag teams end right now in New Japan. Johnny Guitar it is correct saying they do not actively bury their tag division. That's true. It's just kind of an afterthought. It doesn't help when many of their top tag teams also keep leaving the company.
True.
You know?
What was I going to say? The match right now is Shingo Takagi against Taichi. In case anyone was wondering, the break is now over, and we are back to wrestling. We have 3 more matches, I believe.
Yes. So, this Takagi, match, the Suzuki match, and then the main event.
Cool.
I think this was the latest start for a show. 10:30 a.m. your time, or did we have one that started at 11? I can't recall.
Say that again.
Was this the latest start time for a show so far, or did
10:30? I think we've had a 10:30 before.
Okay, they all blend together at this point for me. Josh Tilley says the Raw tag title lineage is very prestigious. Nicholas will go on to have a wonderful career. Yes, let's all remember when a 9-year-old child held a championship in WWE just because they wanted to have a laugh.
Wasn't he 10?
Well, I don't know. Johnny Guitar seems to think he was 11.
Figures.
Well, he holds the record for the youngest champion in like WWE history. So let's look it up. It's not what I want. I don't want Brock Lesnar. That's the other one. Nicholas. He was 10 years old. There you go.
I'm right.
Yep, you are correct. Who was the oldest champion to ever hold the Raw tag titles? How about Nicholas. That? Oh, yeah, 10 years old.
Who would be the oldest? Man. Just trying to think who's held them.
This would have happened in like the last 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah,
fairly recently.
I think he's old. Give me a clue. I'm not reading the chat, so you can give me a clue.
Yes, I'm giving it to you. You need to look at me.
Oh. Bang, 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 bang. What?
What is this?
Finn Balor.
No.
Gun.
Not that. Yeah, that. Who's a gun? Billy Gunn.
Oh, did he really win it?
Yeah, the New Age Outlaws came back and won the titles.
Yeah. I knew they were back. I thought that was before it was the Raw tag titles.
Nope. Well, I mean, it's the same titles. Those titles became the Raw tag titles.
Well, yeah, I thought they were the penny belts at the time.
Well, they were.
Well, in that
those
case,
are still the same titles.
No.
Yes, they've gone through name changes, but because those titles are still the.
No, but I think of the Raw tag titles as the red belts.
So just from like 2016 onward is what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh well, if we're gonna get real granular about it.
Hey, I'm a fact checker. I check
the facts. Yes.
Oh, shocker. Taichi is once again grabbed the mallet and he's shoved it up his bottom.
Oh, that's where it goes. Okay. Let's see.
Man, the referees in this are so stupid.
Okay. Which of these people is the oldest? Actually, I think I might know who it is.
Bobby Roode.
Nay. Although, hang on. You might not be wrong, actually. Hang on, let me check. So I don't know why I just checked this person's age twice. That's 2 years younger. Yeah, I think I've got the old winner here.
Oh, well, since 2016.
Yes, the oldest person to hold the Raw Tag title since 2016. I believe none of these other people are standing out, so I think I've got it. Yes.
Right, I need another clue.
Well, there's only been like 10 teams to hold those titles in the last 4 years.
No, I know, but what, Matt Hardy?
There you go. Yeah. Matt Hardy. He was 44. The oldest person to hold the red penny belts, or the nickel belt, I suppose, since they're silver now. STR says, how many foreign wrestlers have main evented WrestleMania? All right, you talk for a second. Let me figure this out in my head.
I'll just commentate. Taichi is on top, having used the ring bell mallet, as he does in most matches. Just a kick to the back of Shingo Takagi there, who is looking very grumpy with his current predicament. And why wouldn't you? Being kicked in the face is no laughing matter. Oh, but fighting back with a nasty old chop. But Taichi throws him to the ground with a bit of a choke hold. Takagi has been one of the standout performers in this G1 Climax tournament, as you would expect. Taichi, actually, while he does just use a lot of referee bumps and things, has also been surprisingly good. I think a lot of people have been quite shocked, given that he is generally one of the lesser liked of the roster.
Absolutely.
And it's not just because he's got a weird face. Lovely lucha burp from you there, Tempest.
Yes, don't mind me. Okay, possibly 5, 6. No.
I can't wait for this answer.
7. No.
What does foreign mean anyway in this context? Not American.
Not American, I'm guessing.
I'll answer some questions. Thoughts on Randy Orton getting drafted before Billy Kay? I mean, it's ridiculous. Billy Kay should have been drafted a long time. Billy Kay should have been the #1 draft pick, if you ask me. So it's just another example of W not knowing what they're doing. 9. Okay, who are they?
And that should be including Chris Jericho, which is kind of 50. I didn't know whether to count him or not because he's Canadian, but born in America, but considers himself Canadian. So it's something like that. But it would be Piper, who was born in Canada. Piper, Andre the Giant.
French.
Yes, Frenchman. Fast forward a number of years. You've got Yokozuna,
who is Samoan.
Samoan, or as they like to say, Japanese, because WWE just does not care. Bret Hart,
Canadian.
He did it a number of times. And then continue. And then you have possibly Jericho.
Yeah.
So consider Jericho or don't. And then Chris Benoit, Canadian. Yeah. And then nothing for 21, 22, 23. Edge at 24.
Yeah.
Canadian. Shingo Takagi hits Noshigami for a near fall there.
Takagi has never main event WrestleMania. You're wrong there, Tempest.
I know. Crazy. Nothing at 25, nothing at 26, nothing at 27, 28. 29, or 30, or 31, 32, 33, 34, and then 35, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And then 36, Drew McIntyre. 9. There you go.
Who main evented night 1 of the
Well, it was Undertaker and AJ Styles
AJ
in the
Styles
Boneyard.
Very American.
Yes. As aggressively American as you can get.
Mm. Oh, Anderson and Gallows both American as well.
Yes.
Technically.
Oh, yeah. But I believe technically they were both Americans.
Also, where was that motorbike from?
Yeah. American made.
Dead man walking.
You done it now. You gonna made a big mistake. And I can't lie. You
Is
just think
Samoa a
you
US
just walk
territory? Well,
away.
there is Samoa and there's American Samoa. I think they're different things.
I believe so as well.
American.
If not, you can knock off Yokozuna from that list.
Samoa is an independent with its own head of state. American Samoa is stunning but smaller and less developed than Samoa. Yeah. As usual, my geography is on point. You can't beat me on Edward. There you go. You can ask Tempest about wrestling. You can ask me about geography.
Very good. Josh Tilly says, I'd love Shingo to main event WrestleMania. He can win the Royal Rumble and challenge Roman. Hey, Shingo Takagi versus Roman Reigns, sign me up for that. That would be stiff as a horse.
That's fine, but also he should stay in New Japan.
Yes, forever and ever. Taichi with a clothesline, but Shingo with a clothesline of his own. Taichi hits his kind of leaping buzzsaw kick.
Slightly goofy selling from Takagi, I have to say.
A little bit.
Oh, a joint clothesline.
And Shingo goes for the pumping bomber, but Taichi goes for the high angle back suplex. Hits it. Aaron Hadfield here says, is there a G1 Underground? Funny. That's the type of comment that I would expect to see from Dan, the mayor of Painesville, Walu TV, but he has not surfaced in this.
He dropped me a message earlier to tell me that the draft, the what went wrong with the WWE draft should be my next what went wrong.
That's not a bad idea.
People either didn't like or really liked my one on Orange Cassidy this past week. That seemed to go down very well.
Oh, yes. Well, the internet is a very peaceful place, after all.
Do you agree that they've done the wrong thing with Cassidy?
A little bit, honestly. And I say that because I have mentioned before I was at Revolution earlier this year, the pay-per-view. And for the moment, I thought that the match between Orange Cassidy and Pac was just about my favorite match I'd ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It's a fantastic match.
I loved every second of that match. I thought Orange Cassidy was just like a god amongst men, the smartest wrestler in the world. But they just keep having him wrestle.
That was basically my point. Like the whole point of Orange Cassidy, it's like I said it in the piece. It's like if every single of Finn Balor's matches was the Demon. It's like
exactly.
It's a special gimmick, and I know it's not the same as the Demon at all, but it's a gimmick that makes a pay-per-view show more exciting because it is so unique. You can't just bring Orange Cassidy out all the time because then people are like, well, I know what's going to happen. And while obviously you're not going to be that forgetful to forget that between pay-per-view shows what he does, but it kind of makes it a lot more tolerable.
Yes. Taichi goes for a low blow after pushing the
ref. Why don't they just disqualify them? You can't just hit a ref.
Oh, thought that might have been it. Shingo went for the Gato clutch. Very interesting. But yes, additionally, I know Louis Dangor and I don't tend to agree on many things, but he is correct when he says Orange Cassidy is a gimmick that works with a crowd. Without a crowd, it doesn't work as much. So why they've had him wrestle like 6 matches without a crowd, I don't understand. I would never have had him wrestle Chris Jericho 3 times. Oh. And Made in Japan there from Shingo, which gets a solid 2 count. Shingo is shocked he didn't get the win. But, you know, like, I thought the first match he had with Jericho was fine. Like, as his second match officially in the company, big pumping bomber from Shingo there. And another kick out. The first match he had with Jericho I thought was a good match. I didn't think it hurt the gimmick at all. But doing a second match like a month later and then a third one, I was like, why? I mean, I would have done the first match at All Out rather than the third match, but what can you do?
Well, I've just seen that they've announced Lars against Jeff Hardy for Friday.
Yep.
They are so deaf.
Boo.
They are so deaf. The entire internet the entire world is saying, we don't want this man in your company. He is a terrible human. And W go, right, yeah, cool. He's got a match on Friday.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to call that move from Taichi. Let me just say I've written too many articles about Lars Sullivan lately for my liking.
Yes, he is truly dreadful. Unless Jeff just completely squashes him and then gets fired, there is no excuse to have him on the show.
Yes, I don't think that is likely.
No.
To a Gato clutch there from Taichi, which gets a near fall.
Possibly Josh getting him heel heat, but there's a difference between heel heat and this man is a terrible racist, sexist, homophobe, sexual harasser.
Yes. I don't give WWE heel heat when they go to Saudi Arabia. I give them, I don't want to give this company any more money heat. Oh, Taichi hits the Black Mephisto. That'll probably do it. And it will.
It will. Taichi.
Taichi moves to 8 points.
Shingo Takagi. Well,
that's depressing.
It's fine. I mean, Takagi was never going to win this block. But you still don't like to see it.
Yeah, I don't want to see Taichi beating Shingo Takagi. That makes me sad. Even though Taichi has been impressing me a lot in the last year or so, I still love Shingo Takagi that much more. STR says, Keith Lee, Damian Priest, Dijakovic are all superior to Lars. It isn't worth keeping him. Yes, well, this is the same company that keeps pushing Baron Corbin year after year. So I don't think they're really paying attention to different guys that are all superior than the guy that Vince likes.
No.
Oh, goodness. This is an unrelated, somewhat unrelated point to this. But it is something I have mentioned in our chat at different points that I want to bring up here. And I'll preface this by saying not especially like right now, because obviously we're in a pandemic and I don't want people to lose jobs and whatnot. But I think they need to bring back the notion of some people just aren't good, and you don't need to keep like pushing them and making sure they're on TV year after year in WWE. Like, there are certain people in NXT that have been on NXT for like 5 years and are still absolute dreadfully bad. And those are people that, you know what? Maybe when this pandemic is over, you just kind of cut them loose. Maybe it's not for them.
Yes. No, I think you're right.
Like, I'm not a huge fan of like the Forgotten Sons, but maybe the Forgotten Sons were forgotten for a reason.
Yeah, you know? I mean, the two of them are fine, but I would certainly get rid of Jackson Riker, who, again, another one who's proved he's a horrible person as well. Yes. But with Lars, the report is that he's got very, very few fans in the back, but one of his only fans is still Vince McMahon.
Shocker.
So that's why he's not being sacked yet. Up next is Minoru Suzuki against Jay White, which should be stiff.
Quite excited. Yes.
As a donkey.
Stiff as an ass.
Stiff as my ass.
To this one. Antonio Correa says, Tempest and Andy, at least New Japan Pro Wrestling has some tag teams unlike WWE. Yeah, we've circled back around to the topic from 45 minutes ago. We're talking about other things now. STR, bang on the banana. Got I don't want to call certain people out, but you've got the right idea there, STR. Oh goodness. I mean, Shaded Bear says, was it right to fire Enzo? I mean, yeah. At some point, when you lie about certain things and not bring other things to people's attention, you kind of reap what you sow in that case. Just be good people. Is that so hard? Just be nice and decent to everyone. As Bill and Ted once said, be excellent to each other.
Yeah, go Bill and Ted.
Is that reference too old for you?
Yeah.
Come on now, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I don't really watch films.
The greatest actor of all time, Keanu
I do watch
Reeves.
films. I'm not like Louis, but I just haven't watched a lot of films. I'm trying to watch more recently, given that it's lockdown.
Well, if you're in the mood for a nice stoner film, that's a good one.
Yeah, so I didn't do that though in Tempest.
Well, you don't need to partake.
Yes, I do.
All right, you need the authentic experience, I suppose. STR says, I really want Sonata to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but he gets so close so often, I feel like I'm going to be waiting a really long time. Well, that's the thing with the IWGP Heavyweight title. It's very exclusive. You don't get to win it unless you are the chosen one. Unless you're evil.
Tempest, have you seen the Tag Team Aussie Open? I mean, I certainly have. Yeah, I'm also here, guys. You can ask me questions too. I've seen them many times. They are very frequently on the UK indie scene.
Yes,
they are
obviously
one of Luke Owen's favorites.
They're very good. I have not seen them like a ton, obviously, just for not seeing it as much. There's only so many hours in the day to watch wrestling, of course. But whenever I've seen them, I have enjoyed their work. They were at Royal Quest last year, right?
They were.
Yes, that's that may have been the first time I saw them. Something like that, yeah. And the Elite says, I think Sonata wins the New Japan Cup next year. I thought Sonata was going to win the New Japan Cup this year, so I would not be surprised at all to see that.
Oh, Josh Tilley with a
hot take.
Hot take there.
Doesn't think Jay White has had a great match in a long time. Well, I would disagree with you there, Josh. I think he's done quite well in this tournament. I think his match with Will Osprey was quite good.
But I do agree with the whole Gato thing. It would be refreshing to see a match where Gato doesn't get involved.
Yes. I know we haven't been watching much of the B block, but I can tell you that Dick Togo interfering in Evil's matches is much more irritating than Gato interfering in Jay White's matches.
While I don't often give too many props to WWE, that is one thing they do better, is that if this kept happening, they would ban Gato from ringside.
It's true. It's true. It's funny. I've grown to quite enjoy like the Japanese commentators because I can kind of tell them apart now.
Oh, it's completely white noise for me.
Well, I pay attention to this sort of thing, but it's like I can tell when Jushin Thunder Liger is talking and stuff like that. I find them quite enjoyable these days. And STR says, where does Jado rank in that? Just as bad, but not involved in this tournament. So out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
Suzuki is currently chasing Jay White around the ring. Jay White just keeps rolling out like a little heel. Suzuki has some of the most impressive ears in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
If he was a high flyer, he could actually fly.
Are you trying to say he's like Dumbo?
Yes.
Hey, Pradeep, what's up?
I wouldn't say it to his face.
I don't think I would say anything to Suzuki's face. I would just cower in fear.
Why did everyone keep saying, hey, Tempest, and not hey, I'm also here? And yes, Antonio, we know that Lars Sullivan also mocked Hurricane Katrina. We did a piece on that last night. But let's move on. Talking about Lars is so depressing, so let's talk about something else. Do I want to die? No.
Goodness.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Oh, I just accidentally closed my tab with the stream on it. Whoops.
Well, they're grappling. Suzuki has Jay White in a wrist lock.
I'm back live.
Yay. So why do you want to die?
Oh, because me saying that to Suzuki.
Ah, yes. I understand. I thought that was just a general question. I was like,
no. I'd rather not. Actually,
are you going through it right now, Andy? Is there something we need to talk about?
I'm one of those people who has a genuine, like, almost phobia of the thought of dying is very scary to me. The idea of as a not a religious man, the idea that there is nothing is pretty daunting, I would have to say. I'm sure I'll feel differently in about 50 years when I've lived enough life. But as a 25-year-old man, I feel like I've got a bit more to do in this world.
I would think so. I would hope you haven't peaked at 25.
No, well, I need to unleash my spawn on the world.
Ah, yes. Oh dear. Because what we need is more Randy Andy Datsons out there.
Exactly, Randy Juniors.
A huge kick in the corner there from Suzuki. He's now got him in the armbar and the ropes. Gato is also afraid of Minoru Suzuki, it seems.
I know we're saying stiff as a horse, but what would you say was actually the stiffest animal? Which animal would you least want to have a one-on-one wrestling match inside a ring with?
I mean, there are things that I would say would probably be more vicious that I wouldn't want to get in a fight with. You know, a tiger or a lion per se. But as far as a stiff animal that I wouldn't want to be locked in an enclosure with, perhaps a bull or a rhinoceros.
Yeah, I think my top sort of 5 would be tiger, grizzly bear, polar bear, silverback gorilla.
Yes, that's an excellent
actually,
choice.
I might have a top 10: rhino, hippo, lion, jaguar. For the Nile crocodile.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it depends what sort of. I mean, if it's a water ring, then obviously like there are some sharks and things. But yeah, I think those are my top. I mean, in terms of a jaguar would be preferable to a tiger or a lion, because tigers and lions tend to go for your neck, and therefore it takes a bit longer for you to die because they just crush your throat. Whereas a jaguar, which has a much stronger bite than either of those two, just bites straight through your skull and crushes your brain, and then you die very quickly.
The more you know.
Exactly. So if you're gonna get eaten by a big cat, make sure it's a jaguar.
Make sure it's a jaguar.
The bears would be horrible because bears tend to just maul your face.
Yes.
Suzuki is not pleased. Rhino would just, you'd get gored and trampled.
That goes for oh god, what's Rhino's real name? I was gonna make a joke, but I forgot what his real name was.
Hippo's
like Terry something, isn't it?
Terry Bollea.
No, that's another big stiff man.
Hippos kill more humans than any other animal in Africa every year, other than mosquitoes, obviously.
Oh, his name is Terry Guerin. I didn't know that. That wasn't something I forgot. That's just something I didn't know.
Did he just get a dick punch?
Suzuki's getting his eye clawed out. Gato is still afraid of Minoru Suzuki.
Wait, why did the ref have a chair?
I think he's taking it from Gato. Oh, that was a dick punch. It was a solid dick punch. That wasn't even like a wrestling worked dick punch. And now Suzuki's going crazy with a chair. And Red Shoes is down. I think Red Shoes is that guy from SpongeBob that was born with glass bones and paper skin.
Yeah.
Every morning he breaks his arms, and every night he breaks his legs. And at night he lies awake until the heart attacks put him to sleep.
Andy, any UK indie talent that you saw long before they got a big break in New Japan? Oh, I'm sure there's loads. I mean,
Gabriel Kidd.
Gabriel Kidd is certainly one of them. Who else have I seen a long time ago? Like I saw Angelico before he joined AEW. I saw Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne before they joined NXT UK. And they're at Progress. Lots of people in Progress, actually. Although my best rags to riches story, I think, was I went to a wrestling show in a place called Croydon, which is in South London. There were probably about 10 to 12 people watching, and that's not an exaggeration. And there was a guy there called Chuck Mambo wrestling. And then just less than a year later, I went to Progress Super Strong Style, which is one of Progress's biggest shows. And Chuck Mambo was part of that. And he was so over that I tweeted him afterwards to say that I sort of watched him in front of 12 people. And he was very pleased that I'd followed him on his journey accidentally.
I just want to point out that Josh Tilley here, perhaps in reference to the animals that he wouldn't want to fight, has has made a grave error saying number 3, Rhino, number 2, Gorilla, and number 3, Minoru Suzuki.
Minoru Suzuki would be number 1.
Well, one of them should be number 1, but he said number 3 twice.
What's the smallest wrestling show you've ever been to in terms of fans? Because I actually felt quite bad for everyone involved in that show.
My debut, probably.
Yeah, but there were more than 12 people there, weren't there?
Yeah, well, I don't go to a ton of indie shows, you know.
It was, yeah. So basically, I used to work for the local newspaper, and one of the guys had called me, and he said, "Oh, hi, I used to be a big, quite like big on the UK scene." I don't know if you heard of, what was his name? It was a UK masked wrestler. What was his name? I know his name was Peter Thornley, but who did he play? Kendo Nagasaki. He was a UK masked wrestler in the sort of 70s. And my dad used to watch him. And my great grandmother was a massive wrestling fan. And he called to say, "Oh, I used to be his manager. And my son is now a wrestler. And we're going to be holding a show in Croydon in this venue, which used to hold shows all the time for the first time in like 30 years." I was like, "Oh, cool. We'll advertise that, do a piece on that." And then 10 people turned up, and it was incredibly embarrassing.
That's a shame. Oh, Jay White just getting leveled in the corner by Minoru Suzuki. Raphael C. wants to know who you think is the most interesting person at WrestleTalk.
The most interesting person at WrestleTalk? That is a very interesting question. I mean, obviously it's Tempest. Man
of mystery.
I was trying to think like who I actually find the most interesting to talk to. And that doesn't mean I don't find the other people interesting to talk to. I do really like having a conversation with Simon Longdon. I think he is incredibly insightful man who has very interesting thoughts on a lot of topics, and he's also like sport, so I can talk to him about that. But everyone has their certain level of interest. I mean, you've seen them all on screen. You know that they are all very unique members of this global community.
Jay White is going to work on the leg of Minoru Suzuki, hitting a chop block and a number of dragon screws. It has now hit a Death Valley driver for a near fall.
Oh, that was one of the worst chops I've ever seen from Jay White there. I think I'm a bit ahead of you, but there was a really bad chop. Oh, and yes. There's another one that's really bad.
I believe you closing your tab and reopening it has put us out of sync once again.
I'm sorry. Seemingly
by like a good 20 seconds.
I shall pause. I'm on 2:16:55.
Yeah, you were about 30 seconds ahead of me.
All right, I will pause. Let me know when you get to 2:17.
All right. Suzuki has been chopped a few times. He's kind of firing. He's crawling on his knees. He's getting chopped and screaming about it. Okay, resume in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
You've got an interesting question there from Shivang saying, how do wrestlers plan to have a good match? Like what goes on? What goes into the planning phase before a match?
I mean, it all depends on who's involved, their level of experience, all that sort of thing. Like I've learned a lot watching like different seminars and that sort of thing from guys like Christopher Daniels, who is very open to just kind of like, you know, he'll go up to his opponent for the night if he's working an indie show, of course, and it's someone he's not familiar with. And if they've both been wrestling for a long time, you know, they can just say like, anything you want to do? Nah, you know, we'll call it out there. Like we'll see how it goes. And they're like, okay. Otherwise, if it's someone who is a little bit less experienced and they need to plan out a bit more of the match beforehand, it's just kind of like telling a story, and there are ways to tell a good story that makes sense and ways to tell a bad story. Look at it the same way as any kind of like book or movie or show that, there are good movies and books and shows, and there are bad movies and books and shows, stuff like that. And it's all about just creating a narrative that fits for a pro wrestling match. So typically, I mean, the standard formula for, a wrestling show is introduce the characters, and then have the babyface do the shine, show that he's a good wrestler, have the heel do something underhanded in order to cut him off, and then you fight for the comeback, and then there's a climax and a finish. And as long as the people involved play their parts well and execute the moves and everything properly, then hopefully you should get a good match. But as far as like planning out and laying out a match, it will all depend on how comfortable the people are with each other and stuff like that. And Shivang follows up there with saying, how do Royal Rumbles and such work? It needs so much coordination. Well, yeah, it means basically the whole match at that point gets just planned out meticulously, From what I've heard from wrestler interviews and that sort of thing, everyone lines up in a line, backstage, and it's just kind of like, all right, number 9, go. Number 10, go. That sort of thing. If you are a major player, then you know who you're supposed to get dumped out of the ring, who you're supposed to eliminate if there's a big moment. But otherwise, if you're supposed to come in, do a few spots, get eliminated, you are supposed to know when you're going to be eliminated based on like 2 entries beforehand.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to time your elimination with like the number 12 entry. So when that comes out, be ready to be eliminated. And everyone needs to keep this stuff in mind. So while it's very fun to watch Royal Rumble, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about enjoying being in Royal Rumbles and that sort of thing. It's a lot of work and a lot to keep in mind while you're working. So,
well, yes. One thing I was just thinking about is that I just realized I'd never seen a Japanese wrestler with a tattoo. And then I thought, and then in my mind I was like, oh, I wonder why that is. And then I thought, I think historically in Japan, tattoos were kind of gang signs.
Yes.
Like so a lot of people don't like them. And I just read quickly that a lot of Japanese people think that they are kind of make your skin impure.
Yes. Until this year, I believe the act of tattooing in Japan was illegal.
Yeah.
You weren't actually allowed to do it because tattoos were the sign of like
the Yakuza.
The Yakuza, yes. And Jay White has hit. Oh, that wasn't very good. His little final cut suplex there on Suzuki. And he is preparing for the Blade Runner. Oh, my goodness.
Armbar from Suzuki. That was nice.
Honestly, something like that little move of just wrapping your legs around the guy and falling backwards, that would probably break my neck with how little coordination I have.
But you're the greatest wrestler of all time.
I am. You've seen my one match. Ricky Bobby's in the chat. Shake and bake, Ricky Bobby. There's probably another movie reference you don't understand. Oh, Jay White is tapping out, but the referee is distracted by Gato.
Shocker.
See, in this case, I never understand why the person who's
releases the
applying
hold.
the submission. Yeah, just keep doing it until you break their arm. I'm sure he will continue to give up if you break his arm. Oh, my nose.
Just pop it out for a bit.
I'm just going to hold my mask like this for a minute. Minoru Suzuki is now slapping Jay White repeatedly. Misses one.
Oh,
Jay White goes for Blade Runner.
Suzuki goes for a sleeper.
Blade Runner attempt, but he's got the hair. Oh, big forearm.
Thank you to the 75 people watching. Let's see if we can get that to 76.
Yes, let's. Well, we've dropped to 73. So let's get those numbers back up.
Asked.
Let's share that link. Oh, he's going for the God style pile driver. But Gato has distracted the referee, and he's going to low blow. And there's the Blade Runner. So such is life in New Japan.
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Yeah, that's quite boring. We've seen that finish so many times now.
I miss the old Bullet Club.
Like, I know Gato is the head booker, but does he try and get himself over? Or is this what he thinks is good?
I think this is what he thinks is good for Jay White.
Because if this was WWE, I would be getting really pissed off that, like, if Zelina Vega got involved in every single Andrade match and made him win.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to alter my opinion just because it's New Japan. I think it's silly.
Well,
I do not watch a lot of New Japan, and I'm already tired of it.
Yep. The referees are not New Japan's strong point. Although Minoru Suzuki, if looks could kill, he would absolutely be just murdering.
That was horrible.
Jesus. That's the face of the devil right there.
It really is. Oh, yeah.
Raphael C says, do you guys prefer doing the live streams watching the wrestling or the live streams talking about the wrestling? Well, I mean, I prefer doing the live streams just talking about the wrestling because they're not usually at 5 a.m. Otherwise, I mean, it's all pretty much the same to me.
What time is it? For me, it's 23 minutes past 12. For Tempest over here, it is 23 minutes past 7.
Yeah, the sun is coming up.
So
I'm
fine.
Get to daylight savings time soon, and then the sun will not be coming up.
As soon as this show finishes, I need to drive up to the office in London. So I was going to do it. I was going to do it before the show, but then I slept so badly because of all my water issues that I decided I should sleep a bit more.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it was very nice actually. Got a nice 8 and a bit hours sleep probably.
Can't relate. I think I probably got 2 hours sleep because I was talking with my lovely lady friend last night.
Well, she should understand that you've got more important things to do than her. So,
well, you see, Andy, I was not doing her. Unfortunately, I was merely talking.
Sorry about Tempest talking about stuff like that.
It's crazy.
It's always kinky though because he's always wearing a mask.
Hey, kayfabe. They because Ontario here in Canada is basically heading back into lockdown as of like a couple days ago, and so they're reintroducing the like government funding for people who are going to be out of work and that sort of thing. And it was a whole day's process of seeing if she would qualify and whatnot. So ended up being able to get the money. So thumbs up for that. But it was rough going there for a while. So yeah.
Well, they've introduced a 3-tier system, which is medium, high, and very high. So if you're medium, that means you can mix with other households, but only 6 people. If you are high, that means you can mix with people outside, but not inside. And if it's very high, you're like sort of local area, then you can't mix with anyone. Luckily, my local area is medium. I live very near to London, and it's very unlikely they'll ever put London up to high because they need people to be able to go outside in London to keep the economy going. So I'm still medium, which means I can still go and visit my girlfriend, because otherwise it would have been a bit of a pain if they'd told me that it was a high risk.
Yes, that would be not ideal for sure. You know, I'm ready for all this to be over.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking. I don't think you've ever seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler.
I saw it a very long time ago.
Yeah. I would like to just be able to hit the fast forward button and just skip over until they develop a vaccine and everything.
But then you'd skip to like 2045.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's depressing, but we can get through it.
Yeah, we've made it this far. Oh, Lord. Jumper JJ says, Tempest old Bullet Club interfered a lot, and so does today's Bullet Club. What's the difference? Besides, we've seen it 1,000 times. Yes, well, I like semi, medium, easy, hard way Bullet Club. The middle Bullet Club, where they didn't interfere in matches as much. Because, yes, the original Bullet Club was very much this way, with Prince Devitt and Carl Anderson, Bad Luck Fale, and Tamatonga. Very much the same way. And it was still kind of the same way in like when the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Yujiro Takahashi and everybody joined the team in 2014, 2015, etc. But, once Kenny Omega kind of took over, they really didn't do a ton of outside interference, especially not in the biggest matches. Like in Kenny Omega's big matches, he more or less kind of went in and did it himself. So that's my favorite Bullet Club.
Can't wait for Okada to put Ishii away with the money clip.
Well, that's not going to happen because he has no neck. How are you going to put a move around his neck when he has no neck?
That is true. How do you choke out a man without a neck?
That is the question. These two had a absolutely phenomenal 5-star match in 2016. That was one of my favorite matches the whole year. So I'm very curious to see how this match will do.
Someone has been chopping Okada.
And Antonio Correa had said Jay White is a slow-paced guy. It's one of the reasons they compare him with Triple H. I've never once heard someone compare Jay White to Triple H. I personally do not think that is an apt comparison, but that's just me.
Fight. This is actually one of the... So, yeah, okay. So it's past... So this show's gone pretty much exactly 2 hours now. So
yeah. Odds are it'll probably be like 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 20 minutes. something like that.
Absolutely.
Brad Horrigan says, who were people's pick for the G1 Climax. I believe my initial pick was Okada, so hanging in there. I believe
I had Takahashi.
Oh yes, excellent prediction. I believe on the first day you had said Ishii.
Yeah, but I didn't actually think that was going to happen. I just like I just like him.
As should everyone, because he is phenomenal. But I don't know. I still like my pick of Okada.
Although I don't think he's had a particularly strong G1. I think he's struggling with back issues. And I think the introduction of this new move has been very detrimental to the finish of his matches. One of the great things about Okada is the way he finishes matches, and he's still got the kind of build up, and then he builds up to a boring chokehold.
Yes,
so it doesn't quite work.
Will Gossett with the super chat. Thank you, Will. So I always knew he was tragically Canadian, but Tempest's background is Canadian AF. What do you mean? This one.
What's that?
It's a very old Canadian Canadian Tire poster, with the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's some ice hockey.
My background just shows how impressive I am.
Well, I can't imagine anything else of what he would be referring to.
Cricket trophies, tennis trophy, football trophies. And there's a golf one in there somewhere. Handball, lots of all the sports.
Oh yeah,
I'm just amazing at all of them. And
I don't think I have any of my. Well, I don't have any trophies at all, but any of the medals that I would have won for my day playing
me sports. And my girlfriend at Stonehenge.
Oh, how lovely!
Actually, it's a puzzle. She got me a puzzle of a picture of us, which I made because I was going through a puzzle fad at the time.
As you do. That's quite a nice idea. I quite like that. As I can't imagine anything else, being shown here that would lead people to think I'm tragically Canadian. The Maple Leafs poster that I think is honestly now about 7 years old. Probably be about it. Because none of these guys are on the team anymore. Haha.
Big Mike says, Andy, you on WrestleTalk a lot anymore, or really just WrestleTalk, Wrestle2? I'm sort of. I mean, obviously, I've been more on this recently because it's been the G1. Once this is over, I doubt we'll have two. I'll be on this too much. I mean, my main job is the website, so that'll always continue to be my main job. But I'll still be on the odd Quizzlemania here and there. I'll be on Calling Spots and Parts Unknown. And
you do the SmackDown podcast.
And the SmackDown podcast for WrestleTalk, obviously. But without spoiling anything, in the new year, there may be a new series in which I am involved with very heavily. But I won't say what it is yet, because who knows what can happen between then and now.
It's true. And I won't say anything because I don't even know what it is.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Maybe. Perhaps I'm just forgetful. I Made Stonehenge says, where's the Tim Hortons? I actually don't like Tim Hortons coffee.
I
really
don't like
all.
coffee.
Yeah, I'm not a huge coffee drinker at all. So if I'm going to drink coffee, it needs to be something that's not actually coffee. But Tim Hortons has a very nice breakfast sandwich. Oh, goodness gracious. Perhaps I should have slept more. But this match has been quite good so far, as is to be kind of expected from Ishii, as he hits a big suplex on Kazuchika Okada.
Gorilla Press says, hello, Andrew, and hey, Tempest, what's up, buddy?
I'm up. I should be sleeping.
I sent you a message, Tempest.
Mike Jones has a fun comment that I think you should read.
What Hogwarts house would the members of the Bullet Club be in? Oh wow! No, I mean that you've spoiled it all now.
I mean, would they not all be Slytherin?
They'd all be Slytherin, surely. Yeah, they're all kind of mischievous, sly, clever, but using their intelligence for the work of evil.
I think I forget what it is. A number of them said what houses they were in on one show.
And you can actually, if I tilt that, you can actually see a Lego model of.
Oh my goodness, that's quite large.
Hogwarts. Yes, it was £350.
Holy smokes!
And actually, there is a copy of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a big book.
And also here is also a copy of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Good Lord.
But that one's broken. I'm currently reading them to my girlfriend as a lockdown bonding thing. I do all the voices. So if anyone wants me to read to them, drop me an email at andy@wrestle.com saying, I want you to read to me. I'll read any book.
I was looking around for any Harry Potter things I may have in this room, but nay, they're all elsewhere.
Boo.
But yes, I believe Cody said he was a Hufflepuff at one point. These are former Bullet Club members, of course. I think Kenny was a Slytherin. I could be wrong on that. He may have been a Gryffindor. Brandy Rhodes is a Slytherin. And I don't think any of the others were nerdy enough to care. I think Hangman Page would probably be like a Gryffindor.
I was originally sorted into Slytherin. On the original Pottermore.
It's like I've done the test a few times, and I usually either get Hufflepuff or Gryffindor. I don't want to be a Hufflepuff because it's the most boring of houses.
Hey, they're loyal.
But they're boring. The most important person to come out of Hufflepuff was Edward Cullen.
Edward Cullen? Oh. Cedric Diggory.
Yes.
Nice.
Should I have said Bruce Wayne? Is that a more apt reference now? So, I mean, hey, if Batman is a Hufflepuff, sign me up. But Batman... Oh, a huge headbutt to the gut.
Headbutt to the penis. Head on head.
Oh, dear. But no, if Batman was in Harry Potter, he would absolutely be a Slytherin. I don't think that's even up for debate. Eric with a super chat saying, "Sure you can. Morning, greetings from Florida. Hey, what do you guys think about Hayabusa? He's my favorite international wrestler." It's not that deep of a cut. If you're into Japanese wrestling, it's not that deep of a cut. But yeah, I mean, pretty legendary guy. They were just talking about him on AEW as well, so you can kind of get the sense of how much of a reach he actually had. So shouts out to Hayabusa. And 057 says, did you just knock Twilight while putting over Harry Potter? How dare you? I mean, yeah. One of those series is good, and the other is Twilight. I don't recall anyone in Harry Potter falling in love with an infant.
Victor Crumb did. Victor Crumb was 18 and he was making out with Hermione, who was 14.
Yes.
That was pretty weird.
That's not acceptable. That is more acceptable than a grown man falling in love with a literal infant.
That's true.
One that was mere minutes old.
Oh, yes, that's unusual. I haven't actually seen or watched Twilight or read Twilight, so that's why I didn't know that.
That's a thing that happens, and it's quite upsetting.
But speaking of this match, Ishii has been hitting some absolutely horse-stiff forearms and sort of neck chops to Okada.
If anyone is stiff as a horse in this G1, it is Ishii.
He's more, I don't know, he's more of one of those little horses, like a Shetland pony, which are still strong as anything, but are sort of small and compact.
Yeah, I still probably wouldn't want to be kicked by one of them, I'll be honest. Big Mike says, how did you guys end up working for the company? And if you're allowed to say, how many people do you have working? And what are your favorite wrestlers now? Well, there's a few questions there. I think we kind of have the same story of how we started working for the company, do we not?
Well, I was writing for a newspaper, and I had been watching WrestleTalk on YouTube for a while, and I just thought to myself, I wonder if they got a website, because I had been writing a blog for a bit about wrestling, and it turned out they did have a website, and it said, "Oh, we're always looking for people for kind of to contribute," and I emailed them, but I didn't hear anything back, so I was like, okay, well, that's fair enough. But then about 5 months later, they launched what is now WrestleTalk.com, and I got an email from the then editor saying, "Hey, how would you like to write for us?" And that's basically it. I started writing. I became an editor quite quickly due to my kind of experience and background. And then I was so clingy and so needy that they offered me a job in the end, because I basically was working 2 jobs at the same time, writing all the time. I was working weekends basically to try and convince them to hire me, and they fell for it. If you're allowed to say, how many people do you have working, and who are your favorite? If you're allowed to, yeah. And how many people do you have working? How many people do you have working?
I think
at WrestleTalk.
Like how many people?
I guess I think in the kind of main team there are sort of between 10 and 15 of us.
Yep.
Some YouTube editors, some YouTube presenters, and then a website team. So yeah, and who are our favorite wrestlers? I do like Drew McIntyre, Keith Lee, John Moxley, Brody Lee. Lots of people. Now your turn, Tempest. I think you're pretty much the same in terms of getting into the company. It took you a bit longer to kind of become full time, but that's because you're not as talented as me.
Oh yes, of course. Well, I mean, I was kind of in a similar position, but I was coming right out of university. I basically started writing for the website just as I graduated, but a friend of mine in university sent me the video where at the end of it, Ollie says, "We're launching our website. If you feel, if you want to be a part of the wrestling media landscape, whatever, feel free to send 2 pieces of sample writing to this email address. We'll get, back to you, whatever." And I was like, at first I was kind of like, yay, whatever. Yeah, thanks, man, cool. But then I was like, oh, you know what? Like, why not, right? Like, if they don't like my writing, then it's an hour out of my day that, whatever.
Yeah.
But if they like it, then it's a gig, So at the time, this was 2018. So the 2 pieces that we were asked to write about were something about All In and something about the first Saudi Arabia show. And so I wrote like a long kind of business piece about the Saudi Arabia show. And then additionally, I wrote a small list of 5 ways to make All In a financial success. And of course, this is before they sold 10,000 tickets in 30 minutes. So, but I got back really quickly saying like, hey, we like the work. How would you like to write for us? And, kind of started on the website from there. Of the people that started, I believe there are only 3 of us left. and two of us are in this stream right now. It's like the two of us and Liam, I believe. But again, kind of, I'd like to think I learned quickly and was susceptible to criticism and feedback, which it goes a long way. If you're able to learn and listen and improve, then you can really go far in things like this.
And when you've got a boss like me,
oh yeah, that always helps, But again, like became an editor fairly quickly, maybe about 6 months in, and then just kind of maybe a year later, after doing just a bunch of random odd jobs and coverage around the site, was asked to join the team as full-time staff, and here I am. And kind of sprinkled in between there, again, the same way, they asked, the people at WrestleTalk asked if anybody wanted to try out for the YouTube team, and I sent in my thing. I did 3 videos with the team before the channel went through a bit of a reset, but that's kind of how I got on YouTube, was put on the web staff, and then just kind of kept in contact and kind of slowly have worked my way back onto the YouTube scene. And now here we are, as Okada nearly gets the pin with a roll up there. As far as my favorite wrestlers go, my favorite current wrestlers, I would have to say Hangman Page is definitely up there. Hiromu Takahashi and Hiroshi Tanahashi are probably my 3 favorite guys, but Jon Moxley, Darby Allin, I still love Jeff Hardy. Roman Reigns, of course. Roman Reigns is like goddamn best wrestler on earth right now. Oh, goodness. Oh, no, he's going for it. He's going for the stupid money clip.
No, he's got no neck. I'd love it if Ishii just completely no-sold this. I mean, he literally can't get his hand under his throat.
Yeah, he's got no neck. The perfect defense, just have no neck.
Like, all he's doing right now is slightly squeezing his head.
Yes, and Gorilla Presser with the super chat saying he's doing a documentary on Thunder Rosa. Very nice. Thunder Rosa doing quite well for herself lately. So that's very, very good to see. Ishii with a big DDT. And now looking like he's trying to lock in a Kimura lock or a key lock of some sort. Almost. Doesn't have the body scissors, but he's got the arm submission. Well, 057 seems to enjoy our discussion about how we arrived at WrestleTalk, so shout out to us.
Yes, I've been here for... How long have I been here for?
It's getting close to 3 years for both of us. I started in March of 2018, so you were probably a little bit before that.
Yeah, there were like 2 batches of writers. Yeah. I came in the first batch and you came in the second batch. Was it? Was that 2018? I'm almost certain it was 2017.
No, it was 2018. It was right before WrestleMania 34.
So I've been here for 2.5. So So I got hired full time on the 23rd of October, 2018. Okay, so I've almost been here exactly 2 years full time.
Well, I'm coming up on 1 year full time, so a good little progression there for each of us. Oh my goodness. Ishii and Okada just absolutely are leveling each other. And Antonio Correa says, are you guys going to cover New Japan Pro Wrestling more, or is this just a one-off thing? I mean, I think these things have gone well enough that, and we're now up over 80 people watching, so yay. Yay to that. Thank you all for joining us, of course. I think this has gone well enough that we can probably spur this into, we're obviously not going to cover every show that they do or anything like that, but when there's a big show, I don't see why we couldn't do a live stream covering such a thing, especially for something like a Power Struggle or a Best of the Super Junior final or a Wrestle Kingdom type scenario. So keep an eye out. I'm sure we'll be back.
I was speaking to Ollie the other day about obviously it's the final this weekend, and I was saying, hey, do you want one of the kind of the main guys like him or Luke to come on? And he said, no, do you know what? I really liked what you and Tempest have been doing, so I think you should be our New Japan team kind of going forward. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe we can convince them to let us cover some more. Obviously, the only issue is that it makes Tempest very sleepy.
Yeah, I mean, typically it's not that big of a sacrifice to make. The G1 having 19 shows in 5 weeks or whatever is a bit tiresome, as they're now headbutting each other. Stop doing that! Stop headbutting each other in the head. Damn it. I hate it.
Yes, and a week later, I was on YouTube for the first time. It was very strange. Basically, I joined, and then Luke and Laurie, it was only me, Luke, Laurie, and Ollie at the time, if you can imagine that. There was no Louis, no Pete, no Adam, no Rich, the editor, no. Well, Brian Tempest was around, but he wasn't really kind of on the main team at the time. And both Luke and Laurie went, "Oh yeah, sorry, Ollie, we're off next week." And Ollie went, "Oh, okay. Hey, Andy, you've been here for less than a week. Do you want to cover Evolution?" And we did, and actually it went pretty well.
I think so.
What was I going to say? Oh, we've got him in the money clip. Is Ishii fading somehow?
Still doesn't have his arm underneath his chin or anything. Barely even has his arms clasped. And Big Mike with a $20 super chat. So thank you very much, Big Mike.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He says, thanks, guys. I'm sorry I took away from the channel. Not at all. Good questions. I just wanted to know, because I do coding in the USA for Google, but love wrestling. And now that I got diagnosed with cancer, I'm looking for other things. But sorry again. Thanks. Obviously very sorry to hear about the cancer. And I hope that you are able to, fight and overcome, the disease and everything like that. So if we're able to take your mind off of that for any period of time while we watch some wrestling, then that's all we can hope for on our end. But thank you, of course, for the super chat. Thank you for joining us for these streams. You are all very, very appreciated.
Absolutely. No, echo what Tempest said there. Big Mike, hope your treatment goes as well as it can do, and I hope you're back on your feet in absolutely no time. It's always horrible to hear, but we are here to distract you and here to support you. So I hope it's all going okay for you. I was going to grab 057. I get the chance. I was going to grab one of those mod positions. Well, if you do want to be a mod, do email in to support@WrestleTalk.com. I know Chopper Pete is always looking for some help on that. So yeah, do send.
Oh, Rainmaker.
A proper one.
Sort of. Wasn't quite all the way there, but he got it. Oh, the big drop kick.
One of the best drop kicks in wrestling.
Arguably the best.
Randy Orton's got a good drop kick.
He's going for the stupid money clip again. Oh, goodness. It is almost 8 o'clock. It's like an actual normal human time now.
Why has he put this move in? It's so bad.
Come on, Ishii.
Come on, Tomohiro.
And you just said Randy Orton, so he's done Randy Orton's little backbreaker deal, and he's now reapplied it. This may be it. And there's the bell with the stupid money clip. Blah.
Oh well.
What can you do?
Tempest, where have you put my pen?
I don't know. Let me look for it over here. Perhaps it was placed.
I found it.
And Tony Cray again asking if we're going to keep covering New Japan. Like, yes, we've answered your question, Antonio. Odds are we will keep doing this. Again, we'll have to wait and see and how scheduling and everything works, but I think this has gone well enough to warrant more coverage.
Absolutely.
I do enjoy doing it. So
yes, obviously we'll wait for the post-show promo, which I will translate for you all. But once that's done, and I will be heading to the office on my own. But it's always nice to be in there. Bit of a change of scenery.
Yes.
Although I really wish you would stop using that stupid move.
So now Okada has reached 12 points. Ibushi has reached 12 points. And Jay White has reached 12 points.
Mm.
So those are kind of your three guys in the hunt. This was day 15. So we've got day 16, day 17, day 18. There's one more match for each of these fellows.
Are any of them facing each other?
Okada is facing Osprey. And then
what happens if it's a draw?
It'll go to the tiebreaker and who has beaten who.
Okay.
So I had seen this, and this is where these type of things typically get complicated. But right now, it's looking like if Okada wins, Okada lost to both Jay White and to Ibushi. So he doesn't hold the tiebreaker over either of those two. So Okada needs to beat Osprey and have Ibushi and Jay White lose on the final day if he's going to move on. Jay White beat both Ibushi and Okada. So if Jay White wins on the final day, he wins the whole A block. And if Ibushi wins on the final day, he needs Jay White to lose. So everybody got that? Bry Robinson says, do they get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw like in football? Pretty much. It's 2 points for a win, but yes, the same general rule applies. If there's a time limit draw, they get 1 point each. If it's a like a count out or a double count out or a double DQ or something, they get 0 points.
Right.
And Bry Robinson says, who do you want to win the G1? I thought Okada was going to win. Maybe not. If I was just picking someone I want to win, I think Ibushi would be a nice pick as far as like a realistic pick. I would love to see someone like Ishii or Shingo Takagi win it, but those are a bit less likely, unfortunately.
I've just been told some terrible news that Pete's going away for 2 weeks. So on one of the weeks, Louis Dangoor will be my co-host for the SmackDown review.
Oh, bother. Well, perhaps you can lock him in a room and this team can be the SmackDown podcast.
Well, and exactly. You'd hope so.
But it would mean I would have to watch SmackDown, which...
and you'd have to get up very early.
I mean, how much earlier would it be than this? You know, when do you usually record the SmackDown podcast?
Well, we do, yeah, but around 10 o'clock in the morning, so about 5 a.m. your time.
Yeah, it'd be no different than a show like this.
Oh, okay, right. Promo time. Wow, my money clip is such a terrible move.
Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, I'm sorry I keep doing that to finish matches, but I've been told by Gator that I have to. Can you name 3 football players from this random football team? Says Okada. I really love Wrestle2. Subscribe now. Wow, did you see last night's WWE draft? What a show. Can you believe that Matt Riddle has been moved to Raw? And did you see the New Day and the Street Profits swap titles? What's all that about? But moving on, be sure to tune in to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Wrestle2, where Andy and Tempest will be covering all 3 of the last 3 matches in this year's G1 Climax. Sorry, 3 nights.
Yep, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What a weekend it will be.
Again, sorry about the money clip, but, you know, I got to save the Rainmaker for a more important match down the line. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe, click that bell, like the video, and share on all social media.
Yay!
Wow.
Before we,
he's always been very supportive of Wrestle2, has Okada.
Oh yeah, of course, he's a big fan. You know.
Yeah.
057 says, I appreciate you guys staying up so late and covering obscure wrestling, especially going through human times. My wife is about to wake up and be pissed that I'm still awake with you guys.
Well, yeah, I think my wife would be annoyed if she woke up and saw me in bed with 2 other men.
Well, I will say, I'm not staying up late. I'm getting up early, and there is a difference.
Yes. Quite. Well, anyway, I need to go to the office, so we will end it there for today. But thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our coverage. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back, as we said, on Friday. What time is it on Friday, Tempest?
Oh, goodness. Give me one quick second. I can look that up.
That better be a quick second.
Yeah. Because they've got the schedule in NJPW World. I should have just looked it up on my laptop. It is the same time as today, so 5:30 Eastern, 10:30 British time.
Perfect. Well, we shall see everyone.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's tomorrow's show that we're not watching.
We will see everyone then. But for now,
it is the same time. It is the same time as this.
Do subscribe, like the video, share it with everyone you know. Subscribe to Wrestle2, subscribe to WrestleTalk, subscribe to Parts of Unknown, subscribe to Phenomenerds. Be sure to join us all tomorrow night on Quizzlemania, where it will be Luke and Ollie taking on the Good Brothers in arguably the biggest Quizzlemania to date, where the tag team championships will be on the line. But do click on some of the videos that have appeared on screen right now and head over to WrestleTalk, patreon.com/WrestleTalk for lots of good extras, including reviews of old shows and Wrestle League. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I've been Randy and Datson. This has been Tempest. Bye!